Hello everyone, and happy Thursday. I had to think for a minute and remember what day it was. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is another episode of Family, Wealth, and Other Memes. This podcast was born out of a challenge to post one podcast episode every day for a year. And if you're new around here, your host is someone who thought the idea of just a monthly podcast, just 12 episodes a year, was far too much. That was far too overwhelming. But here we are, and we are, in 65 episodes, I think today is. I see many episodes in, over 2 months, guys. This is really awesome. I'm proud of myself for keeping up with this. I'm really excited to have you on this journey with me, listening in. And again, if you ever have any ideas for something you'd like to hear me talk about, questions that you want me to expand on, I would love for you to reach out. You can reach me at info@eastonlawpllc.com, and I'd love to hear from you. So again, with a reminder that this podcast is just for informational use. I am not your attorney unless we have an agreement to that effect. So I don't want to take any of this that I'm talking about as legal, business, financial, tax, or any advice otherwise, because I'm not your attorney. So with that, I want to tell you a story that the facts have been changed a little bit, so it's not an exactly true story, but it is an example of something that can happen without good planning. So it was a Saturday night like any other. Melanie and Casey were going to dinner and a movie, and they gave their babysitter their phone numbers and kissed their kids, Brooke, 7, and Sammy, 5, goodnight, and told them to be good. It was a well-deserved night out, but then tragedy struck. On the way home, a drunk driver crossed the median and slammed head-on into Melanie and Casey's SUV, killing both of them instantly. But unfortunately, the story just gets worse. The police show up at Melanie and Casey's home, only to find the babysitter, who, besides being shaken up at the news, couldn't answer any of the questions posed by the police, such as who should be called to take care of the kids, and who had the legal authority to do so. And since there was no written plan they could easily access that would indicate who has legal authority to stay with the kids, the police have no choice but to send the sitter home and call Child Protective Services. Brooke and Sammy are confused and scared. They don't know what's going on. They're taken from their home to spend the night with strangers. The following day, the police locate Susan's family. Unfortunately, Melanie and Casey had not designated in writing who they would want to take care of their kids, and their family members get into a huge fight about who should care for the two frightened children. Finally, it is decided that Aunt Mary will take care of the children. She's thrilled to do so, but is concerned about the financial burden. Melanie and Casey never got around to creating a comprehensive estate plan. And because of this, their assets have to go through a long, drawn-out, and expensive court process called probate. At the end of the day, it costs Aunt Mary a small fortune in legal expenses, and then a good portion of the funds are depleted to pay estate taxes. The rest of their money is designated to be distributed outright to Brooke and Sammy when they turn 18, unprotected from lawsuits and divorce. And we all know what happens when children receive access to assets at 18. So, while this specific event didn't actually occur, it's an all too common story, unfortunately. But it doesn't have to happen to your family. There's something that you can do, and it's super easy. The only way to guarantee your family and your assets are fully protected is by having a comprehensive plan in place. And even if you already had estate planning documents prepared, I can almost guarantee that they don't adequately protect your kids. To ensure that your estate is set up for the maximum protection of your children and your assets, so that upon your death, your loved ones have as little to worry about as possible, I highly encourage that you reach out to a personal family lawyer near you. We are experts in planning for families like yours and guarantee our work. You can go to personalfamilylawyer.com to find someone near you. And by consulting with an expert personal family lawyer, you can relax and rest assured that they will cover all the important details that your family and your assets are totally protected in the event of your death or incapacity. So, if this is something that speaks to you, you've got minor children, you go out for date night with your spouse, and this is on your mind about what would happen if you didn't make it home, then I encourage you to head over to a free resource that we have available online, and that is at it's eastonlaw.kidsprotectionplan.com. And there you can take the first step in protecting your children by naming guardians outside of the will for completely free. And this is something that is going to really help you start to take some of that weight off of your heart if this is something that you haven't done yet. Your kids are so important, and protecting them and then on top of that, protecting assets for them is an important obligation that you have to think about and to start planning for. And to get started today, again, you can go to Kids Protection. I always start with the wrong one. eastonlaw.kidsprotectionplan.com. And then to find a personal family lawyer near you, again, go to personalfamilylawyer.com. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been another episode of Family Wealth and Other Musings, and I am your host, Becky Easton. I will talk to you tomorrow.